0.16%. So we moved the money from First National Bank to that bank in a money market account. So that's really maximizing some interest earnings there. You can see our total cash and investments as of 9/30, we were sitting at about $31.4 million. Our total interest earnings to date was $1,022,581. That's up 45.26% since last year. So that's just kind of that's just a graph of our interest rates and kind of what they look like. This will look again different next month or next quarter when we're able to show you the revenues that's come in from the bond proceeds of our large issuance. The third quarter treasury report is presented here. It's been published in the newspaper. Really nothing out of the norm here. We'll move on. Change in fund balance. This just shows our beginning fund balances, our ending fund balances, and just the change. Overall, we're in all of the funds, if you put them all together, everything's staying really pretty constant, consistent. And this is our final, this is the new chart that I wanted to show you, our fund balance compliance review. These are the funds. We don't have a policy for every single fund. We don't want to talk about the TDDs and things like that. These are really our operating funds that we work with. And we want to make sure that we have 25% remaining for our reserve policy. And as of 9/30, you can see where our funds lie. Bonded interest fund is a little lower than to be expected, and I think we could argue that it really should be in and out. I don't know if there's really a necessary reason to keep 25% in that fund. It has dipped down because we have transferred, we've made our debt payments, and then we had that issuance where we had that defeasance money that we had sent out. So that fund is really kind of depleted down, and I'm really watching it to make sure that it's where it needs to be. But keep in mind, here's your list of the 2025 council approved city projects. Again, I try to keep this up to date for you so you can review it. This is a list of everything outside of development projects that we've agreed to spend money on, just so we can remember where all the money went at the end of the year, or what we've spent money on. What the finance department is working on right now, or has completed, the StarBond annual report is complete, and it's available also on the website. So if you want to know how the StarBond is reporting, it's been sent to the state, and it's available for viewing as well. I'm on the board for the KSGFOA, and so we have conference planning. I'm a budget panelist at the conference, so we'll be preparing to go take care of that. In a minute, you're going to hear about the ClearGov Capital Improvement Planning software. Tyler Technologies is on site this week. That's a software option that we plan to bring to you in the next few months of a complete overhaul of our accounting system. We've been doing lots of website updates to try to make our transparency even better and cleaner and easier to view. Taking on some payroll duties. We're going to start focusing on year-end procedures, 2026 audit prep, and the budget again. So, any questions? That might have taken 45 minutes. I'm sorry.
You did great.
Okay.
You're talking just as fast as Mike is talking. I guess that's a compliment.
That's good. Okay. Thank you,
you.
Brett. Very nice.
Okay. Reports Director, Jason Holly.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll try to keep my stuff a little brief for you since it's kind of a long night. So I'm here tonight to present to you over our sludge hauling. So the current contract for our current sludge hauler is ending January 1st of 2026. We've had, Craig actually found on LinkedIn a possibility of Baltic Beat and had us investigate into it. City of Derby currently uses them. And so through our investigation, we have decided that Baltic Beat is a deep well injection Was looked at the potential alternative. I will say at this moment, deep well injection is becoming the kind of trend that is coming for future use of the disposal of biosolids. I will be honest with you. So by looking at this, we're looking at being ahead of the curve. Luke is here tonight. He's the representative from Volta Deep. He came out, did a bunch of our tests in our sludge, and found that it is a viable solution that Volta Deep would be interested in our clinical product. As I said, Volta Deep currently provides services to the City of Derby with excellent performance reviews. When I talked to the City of Derby, they had nothing but glowing reviews to say about Volta Deep, and they're very happy with their services. And they have just signed a contract with the City of Winfield as well. As I said, the existing contract with Environmental Services LLC is based on 180 wet tons of sludge per year, and that's what I based our current projections with Volta Deep on, with last year, or this year actually, costing us $75,991.20. Volta Deep has a contractual rate of $40 per wet ton, with an approximate cost at the 180 wet tons of $7,200 annually. That cost could fluctuate due to the fact that, depending on our production, on how much sludge we're producing, so those costs could come up a little bit, but it will be at that $40 a wet ton. And they will give us weight tickets and such to confirm what our weights are. We have decided to go with a system where we will load the material ourselves. We had the option of bringing a trailer, but decided it was best to load it ourselves. As such, needing to load ourselves, we have requested 3 quotes for loaders. This is a piece of equipment we have not had in the past. It's something that is greatly needed as we have exceeded the capacities of some of our current equipment and causing some issues with that. Where I requested 3 quotes from John Deere, Berry Tractor, and CAT, with John Deere not responding to us, but Berry Tractor and CAT did respond. CAT came back with the most favorable option with a lease payment of $32,315.67. As you can see through this, we actually will still end up saving money by leasing a loader and going with Volta Deep. The total for the Volta Deep option is $39,515.67. And if my math is right, which I've checked it multiple times, but we should be saving about $36,475.52 annually. Now that, like I said, that number could change due to our production. I know in 2026 we budgeted $80,000 for our hauling, so this will be a significant amount of savings annually.
And then you can use the equipment wherever else you need to
use the equipment anywhere else that we need to, yes. So because of that, I consulted with Brooke, and we have decided how to split the loader costs amongst water, sewer, and streets through the capital equipment line. And of course, then we also have a line item that was utilized for the sludge hauling that will be utilized for Volta Deep's contract if so approved. So at this moment, I am willing to take any questions before we ask for recommendations. Like I said, Luke is here if you would like to ask him any questions as well. So at this point, is there any questions?
Luke, in terms of price, I mean, is that fairly stable, like over the next 2 or 3 years, or does it start at 40 and go to 80 next year? I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah, well, Jason did a good job of negotiation because I see I left a lot of money on the table. So.
We're trying to save
exactly,
that to lower tax,
exactly.
keep our taxes low where it is.
With our contract, we put in a price increase that is matching the CPI, the consumer price index. So,
So where's you gonna dump the sludge at?
well, I can explain it all if you'd like. So our facility is in Hutchinson. So my name is Luke Sharp, Business Development Manager for Volta Deep. Our facility is located just south of South Hutchinson. If you're familiar with the Cutler's Corner area there by Hutchinson, that's where we're kind of located. Our property is about 254 acres. We have 62 old abandoned propane storage wells on site. So when we say deep well injection, we're kind of bundled into that. but we're actually replacing organic waste into old salt caverns that were solution mined out in the 50s and 60s for propane storage. So a little history on the site. In the 80s, there was 3 oil and gas companies that owned the property that we sit now. And they abandoned the wells, plugged them all per KDHE permits and regulations, and then that site sat dormant until 2013. The founder of the facility then built that with the idea of storing oil and gas waste. These caverns are notorious throughout the oil and gas industry to be able to be a safe entombment of that type of waste. So anything with drillings, muds, drill cuttings, really nasty solid liquids. And so over the years, we've kind of expanded into organics now, and we rebranded as Volta Deep. And so on top of being a great location for only strictly non-hazardous organic waste, we also actually produce carbon credits on this. And so all of the biosolids that would traditionally be land applied and over time decompose and off gas in the atmosphere, that's going to be entombed into the cavern. So I joke with folks, you've heard of pink Himalayan salt. In the next 1,000 years, they're going to harvest this and it will be Hutchinson mud salt. So we have all of our permitting in place with KDHE, and we are governed by the Bureau of Water because groundwater contamination is always concerning anytime you put anything in the ground. Salt formation, if you've been to the Salt Mine Museum there, Stratica, that is the same salt formation that our caverns are solution mine into. So what we typically do is when we plug one of the wells, once we fill it, over geological time, through 500,000 years, we'll just entomb that dirty pocket of waste and solidify into a dirty pocket of salt. So salt's naturally non-porous, and so any kind of concern of groundwater contamination leaching out is pretty much resolved, but there's like a 0.00001% chance of that.
Can I ask a question, Mayor?
Sure.
I'm just curious, I was reading the report about how they're gonna dry it, then load it, and haul it, then you're gonna re-slurry it and pump it down?
Yeah, we rehydrate it. So in these caverns, when they backfill them, they fill them with brine liquid. And so we in place material the same volume of brine as this place, and we use that brine to recirculate, so we're not pulling any pressure.
You're pumping it down as a liquid.
Yeah. Pick a milkshake. And I joke with folks, I go to Piedmonts and municipalities like ours. My name's Luke, and I ask folks if they've seen the old western cool handler. I tell folks I go by stool handler.
You're qualifying for old man.
My dad was in politics, so I'm kind of taking after him a little bit.
I appreciate the information. Any other questions? Let's move on.
I make a motion to authorize the mayor or city administrator to enter into a service agreement with Volta Deep for sludge hauling at a rate of $40 per wet ton, effective January 2026, and to approve the lease of a front-end loader from CAT at an annual cost of $32,315.67, including full maintenance and coverage.
Second.
Krista's made the motion, Naomi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Wills?
Robert?
He's on 20-second delay. Very good. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, next item.
Okay, so, next item here is the Everly Trails Test Water Well. We talked about the city expanding, infrastructure expanding, new water. So this is going to be kind of the first steps to really kind of finding out if this water well is going to be a viable option. And I will say that I may have to lean on Harlan and Craig maybe for information as things go by. So again, as the city of Goddard is growing, the demand is increasing for our resources, particularly in water. We support a CD in Burns and Mac. A scope of the test well was developed. This is the next step in the process to develop this water well to see if its viability is. It seems to be going kind of like a going trend right now. I request 3 quotes. I'm only getting about 2 back on a lot of these things. And same as this. I reached out to Rosencrantz Demas, Sergeant Joe and Wayne Christensen, with only Rosencrantz and Sergeant returning quotes. And then once this test well is drilled, sampling will be conducted to the counts and the viability of the well. I do believe Harlan, it's to also see like how much water flows, how many gallons per minute, things of that nature we can get out of it. Is that correct?
Not only the volume, but the quantity and quality of the water. So we can hopefully find maybe a softer water source.
And the rights, we're looking at
138 million, I think, 138 million, 136 million, something like that.
And our cap on our current 4 wells is 364 now.
320, I believe.
Well, they raised it, didn't they?
We're almost there.
Almost.
Okay.
A couple more.
There's another stamp up at.
More paper needs to be pushed around, but we're getting there.
So anyway, significant amount of water relationship to what our 4 wells are funding, so.
So the funding for this test well will come from the Water Reserve Fund. So basically we just stepped into, Rosencrantz Stevens was the low bid at $23,778.60. I'm asking the council for approval if there's any other further questions.
I'll make the motion to approve the quote from Rosencrantz Venus Drilling Company in the amount of $23,778.60. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Brent seconds. That's his motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You got 5-0 passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
CFO is coming back here. Talk about software.
This is kind of exciting, I think. So we've been asked to be more transparent over and over again, and so we have found a solution that we wanted to bring to the table tonight to see what you guys thought of it. So this is for the capital improvement planning, transparency and reporting software. So city staff evaluated software to improve management and communication of capital projects and long-range financial plans. Right now, the way we take care of our capital improvement plan is through our G-Works counting system and spreadsheets galore. So we'll probably still do some of that, but this software will help replace that. The solution is cloud-based, built for local governments. It centralizes dashboards for budgets, funding, timeliness, and milestones. And it includes a public transparency portal for visual, easy-to-read project data. So this is really pretty cool. Since we just finished our 10-year CIP, I thought it was very timely to try to get it live on our website where citizens can click on the projects that they're interested in and learn more about it as we go. This solution will stay up to date with regular accounting that goes through that, pictures, planning, anything that relates to the project can be shown at the click of a button by the community. This is an example of what you could possibly see, which is really pretty neat. So this project, this isn't ours. This is just something, a demo that they gave us. So it would show the project details, the project completion. What I like is there's a subscribe to updates button there. So citizens can go on and subscribe to the projects that they want to be notified about. So if we were to do a street project and we're going to close down the streets, we can put information in here that if they subscribe to it, because this is my street and I want to know what's going on, they can get notifications for that. So it's really pretty neat. We can put in our timeline, try to keep this up to date, and kind of show them, how it's coming, how much longer it's going. If there's problems, there's an announcement page as well that can say, we're waiting on this, we're waiting on that, or maybe we're ahead of schedule. Anything that we want to report on a project is right there for the citizens to click on. Financial data, we can upload photos and maps, but again, here's announcements that I just mentioned. Like I said, we can put data there to people want to know what's going on. Another component of this program or this software takes over and helps with the reporting of the financial data as well. So it's we did have OpenGov, this is ClearGov, we've got to keep those different. We used to use OpenGov and it just really didn't, in my opinion, it wasn't very easy to look at and I don't think it was correct. sometimes. I really don't think it was. So I stopped using it and pulled it down, and now you can see my financial reports. But this information and this data would take the place of that. So we can put in all kinds of financial data in here too. I believe there's functions for citizens to put in their property taxes, and it'll calculate out what they're paying for, and so on and so forth. It also has a join the conversation. So if they would like to write to us and start a conversation, we can do that. Kind of like our own Facebook feed, which could be kind of fun and interesting all at the same time. Craig's going to take care of that. You didn't know that? I didn't tell you about that, did I?
I'm all over it.
Okay. The cost of the project, we are going to have a one-time setup, an onboarding fee of $6,885. Then there's a prorated subscription of $2,841. An annual subscription starting in 2026, we're looking at $11,000 a year with a 3% adder probably every year going forward that we use this. One thing that I did find out, and I wanted to make sure that it was fine, that we weren't going to be double charged, if we switch to another accounting software, they're not going to charge us to remap everything. They said it's a one-time thing, and actually the software that we may be bringing to you, they work really well with. So that was something that was important to me. Funding source, if this is approved, we would take this out of the general fund, the discretionary capital outlay. Legal considerations, Brian has looked at the contract, made some recommendations on calendar reminders to make sure that we're communicating with them if we're not happy and we want to cancel into the future. This will run through 2029. So recommendations and actions tonight, approve the purchase and implementation of the ClearGov capital project tracking and transparency software, authorize the CFO to execute the ClearGov service agreement, direct city staff to start implementation.
Any questions?
No. I've read about it.
Good. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the ClearGov capital project tracking transparency software. Have a second.
Second.
Any seconds? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, Craig Crawford, City Administrator, pinch hitting for our City Clerk, Sarah Simon. This is the infant in the workplace policy. So, City of Goddard, maybe a little behind the time. We didn't adopt our parental leave policy until March 18th, 2024, but we got one now. So it allows for 8 weeks of paid leave for an employee who gives birth, 4 weeks of paid leave for an employee who did not give birth. And then this policy we're discussing this evening at this late hour, the infant workplace policy, would encourage eligible new parents to return to work sooner. It'll help employees fill a gap in the child care shortage. And it's something that we're seeing in several peer communities, and oftentimes we're competing for the same employees they are, and so sometimes it's these type of benefits that can maybe push someone towards one organization or another. So a little bit about the policy. It's only for employees that are in good standing. They can't be on probation or have any disciplinary action. The job responsibilities must be suitable. We're not going to be sizing up any of these 4-month-olds for a bulletproof vest or giving them a hard hat. Mainly it's only going to apply to folks who have an administrative function here with the City of Goddard. So must be the biological or legally adopted child of the employee and under 6 months of age. Once mobile or no longer easily calmed, the eligibility ends. Few worksite requirements. Got to be near the parent's workstation. Parent needs to provide the equipment necessary. They can only attend meetings if not disruptive. A lot of children do a lot of sleeping between that time of their life. They have to have alternate care providers, so that'd be 2 non-subordinate colleagues that work here. So if I needed to be in a meeting that was maybe more serious of nature and I didn't want to be holding the baby during it, one of the alternate care provider colleagues of mine, if they weren't busy with another item, they could hold the baby for that period of time while I'm attending that matter, that I couldn't have my baby with me while I was attending the matter. Let's see. Couple other items in there. We have some options for complaints if issues arise. Individualized plans, so we want to go into this, working with the parent to make sure we all have a clear understanding of what the expectations are. There's a termination clause, so if the baby becomes mobile or again can't be calmed, or if there's other types of issues, there's a process for revoking this privilege. This was approved by our city attorney's office with Morris Lang. We would recommend that you adopt the proposed infant in the workplace policy as presented. I'd be glad to take any questions. I'm sure Sarah or Ryan and Peck could as well.
Let's move. No questions.
No questions. I make a motion to adopt the proposed infant in the workplace policy. Second.
Chris has made the motion, Naomi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Aubrey. All right. Next item, we're gonna jump down to Hawkins Lane. Dominic is back.
So the next item is a community improvement district item for Hawkins Lane for some private electrical improvements and draft water fountain cultural amenities. So essentially here, CID, community improvement districts, allow for special assessment projects on property, and that can be greater in scope than the normal 12-6A benefit districts that we're all used to for street, sewer, and water. So these are private improvements. You can still use the CID program to finance them and get it repaid through special assessments. For this project, it is essentially a one-lot assessment. It's all going to be assessed to the large 10-acre lot. In order to do this, there's going to be a public hearing called for, and that's what the resolution is tonight. It's called for a public hearing on the creation of this community improvement district to finance those two private pieces of improvements. So, happy to answer any questions that you may have on that.
No questions.
I'll make a motion to accept the petition to approve the corresponding intent resolution for the project. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 passed. Thank you.
I'm up for one more.
Alright.
One more industrial revenue bond issuance resolution of intent. This is for Person Laundry project. This is a sales tax only request, and therefore there's no cost benefit analysis or public hearing required in connection with this request. The sales tax exemption certificate again would be utilized to construct a facility, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on this one.
I make a motion to consider and approve the IRB intent resolution. Second.
Crystal's made the motion, Naomi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries 4-0. Still over there, Aubrey?
You hear that, Aubrey?
There we go.
Did we have all of us to watch them too?
Get the button.
Were there?
Did you move on the previous item, the Hawkins Lane CID? I think I heard you right, and maybe Sarah can clarify. I think, Mayor, you moved to both accept the CID petition and approve the resolution.
Right.
All in one, which I think is okay. Is that how you got it, Sarah?
Yeah, I have it in one motion.
Okay, you all right with that, Dominic? Should be good.
We're good.
Okay.
Alright. Now we're at
Honorable Mayor and City Council, this is going to be I-10, since we moved I-8 to I-10, this is I-10. So, Daughter Department's Moderate Income Housing Grant Disbursement Modification.
You know that?
I believe
Mayor, for the record, you might just want to note that he's in there.
Brent's recusing himself because he has a conflict of interest doing business with individual.
Very good. All right, moving forward, the city has entered into agreement with the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation, KHRC, to be the applicant for the Moderate Income Housing MIH grant on behalf of the developer Rodney Stevens for the Goddard Apartments. The grant was for $2 million, and part of the stipulation was that the grant be completely expensed by June 30th of 2026. The agreement was approved by the City Council on April 15th of 2024. However, it was connected to a reinvestment housing incentive district, an RHID program, which was vetoed by the Board of County Commissioners delaying the project. This was compounded by heavy rain, causing further delays of the project, raising questions about if the grant funds would be expensed in time to meet the deadline, as well as having the construction completed by March 1st of 2027. The city, in meeting with the developer and KHRC, were advised by KHRC to consider an amendment to the grant disbursement calendar, expensing funds faster to meet the June 2026 deadline, as well as having the agreement reflect an August 30th, 2027 completion date. This revised agreement is being presented today. The City Council is reviewing an amendment to the MIH agreement allowing KHRC to dispense funds faster to the city, meeting the grant deadline, as well as having a construction completion date of August 30th of 2027 instead of March 1st of 2027. This allows the developer to make up for time lost related to delays from the weather, as well as delays from marine negotiation and capital stack from a reinvestment housing incentive district to an industrial revenue fund and IRB. There is no change to the amount of the grants. It's still $2 million. It's just we're going to try to collect it faster and send it out faster. Legally, it's approved as a form. The ordinance will not take effect until after land is annexed. That's a typo. Kevin Cowan and Gilmore and Bell will continue to review the modification in case of unexpected changes in liability or default conditions. So we did have Robert Porkinell, city attorney, review and approve it. But I was also advised that we probably should have Kevin Cowan or his partner Dominic look at it in case there is any other additional provisions. So we'll just simply ask that the City Council consider approving it and authorizing the mayor to sign it after we have Kevin Cowan review it for just to put a second pair of eyes on it. It is recommended City Council approve the mayor signing the modification of the MIH grant agreement with KHRC contingent on Kevin Cowan or his partner reviewing it for any unforeseen changes that we may not have missed.
No questions?
Make a motion to approve the mayor signing the modification to the NIH grant agreement with the KHRC contingent upon Kevin Cowan reviewing it for any unforeseen changes.
I'll second it. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Very good.
Last one.
Thank you.
City administrator report. I'm heading down the home stretch.
Mayor, City Council, I'll be brief here, so I'm going to kind of summarize a few of these items. We have the walk audits coming up tomorrow, as well as the next day. These different schools in our community, really addressing some of the issues I heard this evening about gaps in our walkability. I really want to thank my colleague Tina Powell, who's kind of been instrumental in leading up the city staff and working with LAMPO on this process. The end goal is to have a plan in place with this community feedback to be able to go out after some external funding to help improve some of these gaps in our sidewalk system. If you're a council candidate or a council member, make sure you got these two dates on your calendar for December 29th and December 30th. We are going to have the Tuesday, October 21st city/rural water pump station project ribbon cutting. That's going to be tomorrow. I don't have the time in here, but it is on my 4 p.m. There it is. We're going to have some cookies, tea, water, a pair of scissors, and a ribbon. And we're going to celebrate that achievement. One quick note as it relates to water. I continue to hear this sentiment in the public, which is not true. And it's this concern about our public infrastructure as it relates to our growth. 2 years ago, there were some pretty big concerns. However, we have been very intentional in addressing those, especially as it relates to water. We have $6 million sitting in the bank, about 80% done with design and engineering on water distribution improvements to address the concerns that we identified. There's a 10-year CIP that talks about further water utility infrastructure improvements. We've gone out and secured almost 300 million gallons in additional water rights for our community. So we need to be very careful about the information we're sharing, not only amongst our citizenry, but also with the development community. We don't want people to be under the impression that our community has infrastructure woes and that we're not open for business, because the opposite is true. Looking at some other things, we celebrated a bit on Fall Fest. 3rd Street Road construction, they should be beginning out there on that last phase here in about 2 weeks. Public Works Facility project is advancing nicely. And I touched on the water looping project. We should see those guys in construction around the turn of the year.
We're still working through our HR contract with McGrath. 3rd Street Water Main project. We had saw some construction going on out there today. They were tying that in. We're so close. I think we're sliding into home on that one. And we're going to be celebrating internally with that team. A lot of folks don't know those guys are working overnight to try to limit service interruptions. So, and obviously late into this evening to
How many feet have we replaced the water line this year?
a couple thousand, isn't it?
I think the figures I was given was about 2,000. Yeah.
And that's all done by our staff, Public Works, and that bravo, that's a lot of.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant amount.
Yeah.
Significant amount.
We replaced about a 4-inch pipe with 6 inches, I think, so water flow.
Probably about 1,950 more feet than we typically would ever replace in a year. So we're super excited about what they accomplished with that.
Well, and by doing it now, we don't have to go back and tear the street up later. I mean, it just was a sensible thing to do, so. I appreciate and applaud all their efforts.
Yes, thank you for that. North Park, continue to progress. We're looking probably to closer to very early spring groundbreaking of next year. We submitted a grant amendment to the State Department requesting more funding and then to be able to respread that funding over more eligible costs. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that we're still full board moving that one ahead. Very excited about it. We're just taking a little extra time to make sure we get it right. It's been a lot of time in the making. We'll have the pre-construction conference for the Hawkins Lane project here pretty quick. I believe we've got a low bid award for that project coming up at our Tuesday council meeting next week at noon. The SCADA system engineering the design is moving forward steadily. I'm hoping we're in construction here relatively soon. Gower Galleria, you probably saw some activity out there today. They're in construction now. Ryan will be working to get the Main Street Steering Committee workshop scheduled now that Fall Fest is behind you. Lots of information here about the Northeast Drive there on the South Frontage Road, the Northeast Drive and the Emprise Bank. You've probably seen the traffic counters out. We're acquiring a control, so kind of our base level, what are the traffic counts there. Here in a couple of weeks, I think November 4th through the 11th, we're going to be closing that entrance temporarily and then continuing to take traffic counts. We've been working very closely with the bank to work through this process, but I think it was just 2 days ago we had another accident there, and we just want to continue to improve the safety of that traffic corridor. Got a few upcoming agenda items that we'll be working with the council on here in the coming weeks. So with that, I'd be glad to take any questions.
I think we're questioned out.
You sure? Okay.
Very good. Closing comments, Krista?
It's been a busy week here in our community, and I do want to thank all of the citizens who did reach out to us. And I would encourage you to continue doing that through the processes that we go through to make decisions for our community. We are growing, and we're going to continue to grow. You may not like every single decision that we make, but we have to make the best decisions for our community. So just keep talking to us, and what I would say, thank you staff, and for all your work, and the streets are almost finished. 3rd Street's almost finished. So anyway, thank you.
I don't have anything additional to add. I think Krista said everything I was going to say, so ditto. Please keep reaching out and to us to let us know what you think. I've loved it this week. It's been stressful, but I've loved hearing all the feedback, so please keep doing that.
Just want to remind everybody that applauded this evening that we need their help. And those people at home too that agree with this, we can get the comprehensive plan set that reflects the will and wishes of our community. It's going to take time, energy, and effort, but I think that's an essential step that we've been missing that will help propel us forward in our growth. So with that, I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting. There's next second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. All right, thank you.